Yeah, you know you're gonna run into a lot of problems, but you're a unique individual, bro. Because a lot of people, you make people feel uncomfortable if they don't know who you are.
I ain't shitting, I know.
There's this guy, Cool Kev. He does photography. He's nice, and it was a girl who knew Kev. I think it was Tina. If it wasn't Tina, it was somebody else. Forgive me. But they put me on the Debo at the time. He was going by Cass Jones, and it was a song Mary Jane with this artist D. There was a part at the end of it where the lady's playing the clarinet, and it was just the timing of it, along with the music in the background. She was just going beautifully with the beat, and I seen that. It was something slight, but how he synced the actual song on with the lady just tapping her foot out in the middle of the street. I don't know why, but I just gravitated, and for whatever vision I had, that type of, I keep saying vision, but those type of visuals is what I was looking for at that time. The first impression was that Debo, he's gonna say it how it is. He's not gonna sugarcoat it. He's gonna be right to the point. And you're not always gonna be pleased with what he got to say. You know, a few times I tried to, take it easy, but he's who he is, and I've learned to appreciate that over time, you know. I felt like Debo already knew who he was before I even reached out to him. He already had a vision. He was 420 Vision. That was his overhead at the time. His umbrella was 420 Vision. And I just felt like he already knew where he wanted to go. I was just an extra component to him. So yeah, you know, he's gonna call it how it is. And I knew I needed that at that time. So, you know, I brought him on board. If you're real and somebody doesn't want to do work with you because you kept it too honest or you kept it too real, I wouldn't look at that as trouble. But some people, you know, it's not just business where Debo is keeping it real. You know, sometimes it's something that somebody just doesn't want to hear. So yeah, I was often like kind of on edge. I was never worried, just on edge with how they will take it. I know I can take it because I know it's only going to better me, but everybody doesn't think like that. So, and it's a rarity. You don't see too many people calling it like it is. You see people sugarcoating and, you know, bouncing around. So the fact that he was kicking it like that, I was always just on edge for him, but he always kept his demeanor and he was good. Debo was always good with being who he was. So who am I to intercept and tell him how to be, you know? I just know that the business, sometimes you gotta put a little fluff in there. And that's because people can't always take the hit, so you can't, and I learned with business that I learned with business that, you know, being too personal or personable can push you back. It's not built off of that. It's not built off the design. You coming from a real place, but you can't, it's not part of the fabric of the industry to always be so real. But I'm the same way to a certain extent. I'm just not as sharp. You know, I'll keep it real, but I also make it I'll say it in a way where you're a little bit more comfortable. For instance, I could have these sneakers on and everybody else could like them. Everybody else could like these sneaks. And if I ask Debo or Jones, like, yo, what you think of these? I don't like them. You know what I mean? And it's like, I wouldn't have said it like that. I might be like, yo, those is cool. I wouldn't, I don't have to tell you I wouldn't rock, but just saying those are cool is good enough for me. But Jones might just say, oh, I don't like those. Or Debo, I don't like those. So, you know, it's just, you know, you just keep it real. If I could share anything, I'd have traveled all around the country with Debo. Crazy stories, back to back. I'll just say that this is one of the most creative guys out past the camera. I mean, he dropped the Sonny Barbour project, Cadillac Jones, Rolling Deep, all of these songs. Like he can be in front of the camera, behind the camera, and then, you know, he's a talent scout. Like Debo told me about Lil Uzi in 2013, 2014, and I just wasn't trying to hear it. Lil Uzi, all right. You know, next thing you know, he got his deal. So it's just like everybody deserves to have a Cuzin Debo on their team. And that's somebody that covered everything we spoke about. Somebody that's going to keep it real. Somebody that's going to have the creative vision. And not just keep it real, but offer constructive criticism as well. It's one thing to tell somebody, nah, you're not doing it right, and just leave it at that. It's another thing to tell somebody, yo, you're not doing it right, but this is how you do. This is how I would do it. And that in itself is a blessing. Anything that Cuzin Debo behind, I got my stamp on it. And that's just what it is.
Cuzin Debo, legend. You the real Debo, Cuzin Debo. For real. Artist, legend, you my man. I can't wait till you come back to LA so we can put that work in. For real, we need to be in the studio. Shout out to you, shout out to the homies from Philadelphia in this motherfucker. For real. Word is, mom.